I don't want to go to the movies. Put me in the mountains, in the woods, nothing bougie. Alright, so I got my stuff here. I'm trying to set my tarp up from there to there, an A-frame. I try to keep you guys in the loop as I do so. Show you guys how I set my tarp up. The wind's coming from that way, right by the interstate, coming down from the north, like northeast. So I want the side of my tarp to be catching all that wind, so I don't have to worry about rain sneaking in under the tarp. I'll probably do an A-frame. I might do a lean-to, which is just bringing one side of the A-frame up, but we'll see what I come up with. All right, so I got thunderstorms coming tonight, really bad weather. So I'm gonna set my tarp up, try to stay dry. It's gonna be cold tonight too, so I don't want to end up, frozen. So wish me luck. So what I got here is 30 feet of 550 paracord. On one side is a running bowline. I use a trucker's hitch on the other side, and I have these Prusik knots. I have those already installed on the line. That's what's going to pull the tarp tight. I just got this one too, and it's already fraying. That is what it is. I'll burn that shut when I set this up. Like my running bowline fell out, so we tie that. Let's do it really quick. I take this side here, loop it into itself like that, take the running end, put that back onto itself, pull tight. That's a bowline. Take it 2 seconds once you get quick with it, Alright, so I got my 30 feet of paracord right there. I got this wooden toggle and a bowline. So all I'm going to do is attach this bowline, wrap it around the tree, put it through itself, and then put the wooden toggle in there. So that way if I got to take it down quick, I can. Just to show you what I mean. So all I gotta do is pull this piece of wood out and this whole thing comes undone. And attach the other side over there using a trucker's hitch. All right, so for this side with the trucker's hitch, I'm gonna put this end through that and then you can ratchet it super tight. Let me show you. All right, so I just put that end through the loop I had on that. And now I can pull it and ratchet it as tight as I want. Get that banjo tight effect on the ridgeline. It's called the rapid deploy ridgeline. So we'll pull that super tight. I'm just gonna tie a clove hitch over here to tie it off. So again, we got a trucker's hitch here. Instead of tying off the figure 4, I do this clove hitch with a loop, let the loop hang out. So I can just pull this, whole thing comes undone, whole thing drops. On the other side, I got that wooden toggle. Now, I gotta deal with these Prusik knots. These things will slide up and down the ridgeline, no problem. But the moment you add downward pressure, it jams the line. So that's what's gonna keep my tarp nice and tight and from blowing around too much, even though I got intercepting the wind coming from that way. And I got the other one over here, this oversized one that I've been too lazy to cut down. I'm also setting this up super high compared to normal. Like this is almost as tall as I am, 6'2" by the way. But I don't have to worry about getting rolled up on here. I mean, I'm in the woods by an interstate. No one can see me here if they tried. If it wasn't gonna rain tonight, I'd probably do a fire here. But usually you want this around from chest to waist, somewhere around there. Chest being the high when you're stealth camping especially. Honestly, stealth camping, you should probably do it more around waist height. So, you know, keep the visibility down even further. But I'm not worried about that here. If I get kicked out, there's an abandoned building nearby and a bridge about 2 miles down that way. So no matter what, I'll find a place, you know. But I'm setting it up extra high today. I'm gonna fly it rather than pitch it. Pitching a tent is when you attach it to the ground. Flying it is when you tie it down to the ground. It's not actually touching the ground. But it still should be able to block enough wind and all that, especially if I have a 12 by 10 tarp. So I think I'm going to take the 10 and put it that way. Sorry, the 12 and put it this way to be the legs of my A-frame, and then put the 10 on the ridgeline. But let's see how it works out in application. I think a lot of people
so I decided here to cut back the tree branch a little bit that was sticking out. That was kind of in the way. So that way I got my 12-foot clearance and I had my whole tarp out the long way. So that way I got more coverage from the storm that's coming later tonight.
I'll attach one side of my tarp here, the other side there, and then I can slide these around and tighten it up as needed. Again, I'm a little shy of the 12 feet I need here, so I'm going to probably do the 10 feet for the ridgeline itself on the 12 by 10 tarp. I got tired of this oversized Prusik knot, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to cut her down, make my life a little bit easier. Burn the ends, otherwise the internal strands will come out separate from the external. So you burn them up, just flatten them out. A little more on that one. Okay, cool. So I just cut this this loop down a little bit smaller because I need all the room I can get. But I'm gonna, all a prusik or a prusik knot is one of these loops, and you just wrap it around itself 3 times like this. See if I can do it one-handed. Oh, hell yeah. And then you get this little loop, and again, downward tension to keep it from slipping, but you can slide it easily when there's no pressure or tension on it at all. I realized tying it with one hand, I only did 2 loops. So here's with the 3. You can see how easily it moves unless you add downward tension. You can pull on that all day and it ain't going anywhere. The tree will probably give up before that knot does. I use the one Tigris, I think it's 12 by 9 or 12 by 10, right? The only issue is made for their system, which I immediately throw away when I get these. My second one I've had of these. I like this tarp a lot. Like the Aqua Quest Defenders and stuff, like they're $140 tarps. This works very similarly. It does just as well. But the grommets are really small because it's made for their system. So it takes a little getting used to manipulate these and get them to work, especially with my giant ass hands. But I love this. These tarps cost about 40 to 45 bucks, and you know, road tested, Troy approved. Now I did decide to put the 12 for the ridgeline. It is more reinforced. There's extra grommets in case I want to tie them up to make it even stiffer and tighter. But this is the prusik knot with the grommet on the edge with the wood toggle. Now, if you remember earlier, we put the wooden toggle in our running bowline to keep this side up, and this is to keep the tarp on. I'm going to try to pull the other side here in a second. Hopefully I have enough room. I think I will. Still a lot of slack in here, but I think I got it. But those wooden toggles are important in case you need to take your stuff down quick. You know, or hell, even if I just want to run to the store and I'm in a place. Oh, nice. We've got a nice tight pull there. Look at that. I was going to stake the bottoms down. But yeah, if I go to the store or something, I'm going to go away for a couple hours. I'm going to take all my gear with me. I'll just drop this whole thing down on top of my equipment. So it's going to be harder to see. But it's pretty much up now. All right, now for the last step, all I got to do is take these corners and put them down. I'm not on low ground, so I don't have to worry too much about flooding. So I don't have to worry about digging a trench or pitching this to the ground. Like I said earlier, I'm going to fly it, so it's going to be up off the ground a little bit. I'll get a little bit of airflow underneath, not too much condensation, so it doesn't get wet on the inside. And I got a lot more headroom. That's why I set this up this way. So I have a lot more headroom. I can even sit on my bucket under the tarp, you know, be comfortable. And you know, I don't get too many spots like this, so I can set it up so high. So I'm excited for that. Just the extra headroom and all that. But now I just gotta take these corners, tie them off to a tent stake. I carry 5 of these. Usually, I only carry these because if it's in a heavy rain, I need to set this all up in 2 minutes. That's how long it takes to get soaked through. And especially this time of year in the winter, it's February, you know, so if you get wet, that might be the end of you. And, so you gotta be extra careful, obviously in the winter for rain and snow and all that. But it's not rated yet, so I'm taking my time with it. That's why I did this video. Show you guys another way to set my tarp up. I've only really shown the plow point configuration, that this is the A-frame. But also keep in mind, the only difference between this and a lean-to is I'm gonna fly, oh, I'm not doing another take, I've already done 5. I can fly this down like this, right? And we'll have our A-frame. A lean-to, you just pick it up. So you put a piece of wood or something on each side and pick it up. Usually I start with a lean-to. If the wind changes or anything like that, I'll kick out the wood and I'll already have it tied to the ground. I'll show that in other videos. I'm not doing that setup this time around. That's more useful for fires. You know, if it was really cold out and it wasn't gonna rain, I can do a really long fire bed here. Pick this side up, keep the other side down like a normal A-frame. You're gonna make the lean-to configuration. And then that heat from that long fire bed, not a bonfire, just a long fire bed, about one big step away from the tarp. So do it right about here. And then that would feed the radiation from that fire would keep under that tarp warm all night long. I probably have to restoke and add firewood every 3 or 4 hours. So once or twice while I'm sleeping. The more you know. It's so weird having an actual camera now. It's nice to have, you know, something handheld like my phone, and then I can use that for shaky shots and wide, you know, wide view, wide lens and all that. Still got a lot to learn to make myself better at that thing right there, but it is really nice. Hope you guys are enjoying the new footage, new style of filming. And again, I'm not super worried about getting caught here, so I'm not doing a toggle for the corner of the tarp. I'm just tying it straight on. So I'm doing a bowline on the corner, a bowline around the tent stake, and then sticking it in the ground 45 degrees this way, towards the tension, towards the tarp, so that way it catches the dirt, doesn't go anywhere. So here we go, it's all set up now. See how visible it is from the road. Let's see how visible this thing is from the road, just over here. Got the interstate on the other side. Let's see if we can see it at all. I like it. I'm not even fully out at the road yet. It's still over yonder a little bit. You see the cars, but I like it. I don't think I'm gonna get noticed at all. Just keep the lights to a minimum, and probably be pretty loud out here. Play some music or something like that. But I think anyone's gonna even care if they see me out here. You know, but we got some potential thunderstorms coming later. Very happy with this. Worst case, if the winds really pick up, I'll just lower that ridgeline and then I'll pitch that to the ground, and that'll keep me pretty safe, pretty dry. At least that's the idea. Boop. All right, I don't have much more rain, if at all any. So I'm gonna turn this A-frame into a lean-to, button down the other side, make a nice long fire bed, and my tarp should act as a wind wall. That fire bed should keep me warm all throughout the night until I decide to go to bed. I could wake up and stoke the fire and feed it 3 or 4 hours after sleeping. I'm gonna be in my sleeping bag. It's only going in the 20s. The sleeping bag goes down to 0 fairly comfortably, as long as there's no weather. So since I got so much rain last night, the dry stuff is gonna be hanging up in trees like this. So this branch fell off this tree a long time ago. But because it was hanging up, even though it rained out pretty gnarly last night, this will be dry. And let me see if I can do this on camera. Let me throw it on the ground first. That was an accident, definitely not on purpose. But when you snap it, it should sound like a campfire. That's how you know it's dry on the inside. Hear it? So you hear like the crackle, sound like the crackle of a fire. So I'm gonna find a bunch of those. I gotta dig my fire pit out. Probably throw some rocks up there and get this show on the road. All right. Gotta find me a rake. Y'all got them gnarly ass centipedes out here too. Big fuckers. I've almost bumped into one yesterday. The first spot to set my camp up had a big old rock in it. So I grabbed the rock, kicked to the side. There's like 3 of those giant centipedes. I'm like, fuck this, I'm out. Went and found a new spot. I need to put this tarp up too. Like right here. We'll start digging that up in a second. Keep that for that. longer. So I got the fire bed made, and that's all some dry wood on the bottom. Now I'm going to build my kindling on top of that. I'm going to use a page out of my journal for the ignition source and tinder. So hopefully it works out with all this wet ass wood. Excuse the mess. I had to move everything over a little bit. So I pitched down that side. The far side is now pitched to the ground. I use these pieces of wood here to lift this side up. And the idea with the fire pit, get this going, fill that all up with coals, and have that radiate heat into the tarp. Keep me warm until I feel like really getting in the sleeping bag. Plus, there's nothing that says camping and make it feel more like you're outdoors. You're having the fire going with a live stream and a camera. Ignore those. I said, usually I got chapstick for this. I don't have any right now. So we're gonna have to do it au natural with just the paper. Now this might fizzle out. All the moisture in the ground and in the wood. So, and I don't have that flame extender in my chapstick. So it might just fizzle right out and we'll do it again. That's all. Keep on trying. It's okay to fail. So I show you fire building, I encourage you to fail. Come on here and fuck it up a whole bunch, learn what not to do. world's smallest flame right there. See if it catches. Piece of paper just in case. Might catch, might not, let's see. Getting awfully warm. The wind's taking care of the smoke for me, which is nice. Don't want to smother it out or anything. There's no coals yet, so if I move that too much, that's the end of the fire. But if it doesn't have enough fuel, that's the end of it too, you know? So. Let's hope this burns hot enough. We get some coals here, and then I can start feeding the coals and use those embers to get other wood going. The moisture is the biggest thing I'm battling right now. It's a really bad storm and really humid area. Basically a fucking swamp. But I think we got it going here. I'm still afraid to move anything though. heat though. Got some coals going already. Got me. If you guys are going camping at home, or you just going camping, you're getting like firewood. That stuff's killed and dried. It's dried when you get it. Like, it's not as hard to start as this stuff. Because it's out here and it's getting rained on, it's getting wet. But it's a great skill to have to be able to start a fire, especially in a humid and wet environment. Again, that's why it took me so long to get all this kindling, because I had to go around to all the trees, find branches that fell off or that are unalive. Watch what I say on here. Because all day they've been hanging like that and drying. So the top part of that, 3/4 of the way up, like a quarter from the bottom, the rest of the 3/4 from the bottom up, you can get some pretty dry wood. But the outside's still wet, and you're still in a humid area. So you got to combat that and fight with that. It's doable. It just takes time. Like, this might go out, I might have to restart, do it all over again, especially if I make a poor decision like I'm doing here. I just smothered it, let's see. Pour some oxygen in there. Go. Looks like a fire to me. I guess tell the shoestring story. It reminds me of when we first met, the first day we hung out. So I hit up Shoestring when I was in Johnson City. Someone let me know it lived there. I didn't even know we lived there. You know what I mean? It was somewhere in Tennessee, but I was doing a live stream with someone in the chats like, Shoestring lives there. I was like, oh, no shit, let me see, maybe I can go travel with him. So I hit him up, and he goes, oh, man, I'm in Texas visiting my dad. I can't meet up. And I'm going to be back for a couple of days. I'm like, yo, I'll wait. So I waited like 3-4 days. I had to run around and grab some stuff anyway. I had to get my pack fixed. The pack I use now is Shoestring's pack. He gave it to me. We traded packs. But we met up out in Piney Flats, and then we went and camped out by the train tracks so you can catch a train out there. It's just outside of Johnson City. So we're sitting around a fire. We got a fire going. You know, he's like, oh, me and Troy's trying to get the chill out of the air, and I realized he's recording. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in a Shoestring video? Like, you know, we didn't talk about any of that stuff. You know what I mean? We just met. He didn't know Anywhere Man was Troy. He had no idea that we were the same person, you know? So we're sitting around the fire, and I realize he's recording. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to be in a Shoestring video. That's crazy. I'm in the Way to the Wake Part 1. Was when we were traveling. We traveled together for about 10 days and got some footage and all that. We were sitting around a fire, and he starts telling the story about this guy named Piss Pants. His buddy Shabazz and Piss Pants, they're all walking the tracks, and Piss Pants is drunk, you know? So Shabazz is like, hey, watch out! So Shoestring turns around thinking like he's telling him to watch out when they're stepping over tracks, but no, that Piss Pants guy fell down and like wasn't getting back up, you know? So they had to get him out of there and all that. You know, I'm going to let you guys use your imagination to figure out why it's called Piss Pants. It's not that elaborate. Just think of someone doing that in their pants, you know? But we hung out there for the night, got to know each other. You know, we woke up the next day, and he's like, hey, 2 trains stopped going the wrong direction. We're trying to go west. We really find stuff going east, you know? So he's like, hey, you know what? I know another spot. Let's get out of here. So we went back to his place for 2 nights. I got to hang out at Shoestring's place. Yeah, it's so, because I've only seen that apartment, this townhouse, I've only seen that in videos, you know? For those that don't know, unfortunately, he passed away last April. Sorely fucking missed, man, you know? But, again, he didn't even know who I was. So he wasn't hanging out with me for, like, you know, because I'm a big name on social media, you know, 138,000 followers and shit. He was just like, hey, you're a train rider. You're asking to go hop trains, let's go. You know? It wasn't until I met him when he saw me, when we met in person. I was like, hey, man, I'm Troy, nice to meet you. He goes, oh, you're that guy that makes the shorter videos on trains. I'm like, yeah, that's me, man. That's me. He goes, Anywhere, dude. Yeah, Anywhere, man. He didn't remember. He actually signed off on my name. That's how it's cemented, you know? Yeah, we hung out for 10 days, parted ways, and I didn't know it was the last time I was going to see the homie, you know? Sorely missed. Probably going to scatter some ashes here just to scatter some. This does remind me a lot of the old man, you know? The shoulder of the giant in which I stand on. This was an amazing spot. We got some thunderstorms. We got a campfire going. Really enjoyed being here, but like all good things, they come to an end, and I must go. So I'm gonna pack this on up and start hitchhiking over to Fort Worth. Get my ass to New England. March, 3 weeks from now. I think I can do it.
As always, thank you guys very much for watching this video and sticking to the end. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button, notifications and all that, but only if you enjoyed it. Thank you guys again. Anywhere Man out.